For today's webinar. Today we are hosting Pol Kayuka, who is a key account manager at SYSTRAN, and Charles Puaux, who is our partner. He's working at PERTIMM. He's the CEO of PERTIMM. And today we will talk about the multilingual virtual agents, how to provide fast and secured customer support in any language. So just to start very quickly with some technical elements. So you can ask questions via chat because you are automatically muted, but don't hesitate to type your question. We will take at the end of this webinar a Q&A session, so please don't hesitate. You can join us via your PC audio, but also via your phone. So both options are available, and today's webinar is recorded, so you will be able to watch it afterwards and get the support presented. So I give the floor to Paul, who will introduce today's topic.
Hello, everybody. So today's agenda will be starting with an introduction to define well what are the challenges that we face when we provide a customer service or support. Then we'll be handing to Charles regarding the virtual agents and the technology behind that. Afterwards, we will be presenting you a use case that we work together, which is about the patient care on the healthcare domain. And at the end, we will be talking about the translation part, which is handled by SYSTRAN, and we will finish with the Q&A session as Alice mentioned. So, just to define the challenge at the beginning, what makes customer experience tricky and complex? So, we have different points that when you provide a service to your customer or when you are consuming a server as a customer, that makes this experience tricky to get the best practice. So the customers usually are asking for the ease of access to these services, so which means that it is easier, it's faster, and some additional values like multilingual services. So this is one of the aspects. The second one, of course, is the privacy. So the customers, especially in different domains like financial domain, insurance, healthcare, they are concerned about their personal data and they don't want to leave any traces on the internet about their personal life or any confidential data. And then, of course, you have the efficiency part, which is when you are providing a service, you have always the tight timelines, overloaded resources, which will lead you to have a more efficient flow behind your customer service. And of course, the effectiveness regarding the costs. We know that today the most important is to optimize these processes to reduce the more money spent on these services and respect your yearly budget. So what we propose here as a solution is the synergy between PERTIMM and SYSTRAN that today we will be presenting you and giving you some use cases. So we decided to bring our different points as the AI artificial intelligence players and provide you with a solution to ensure the best experience with your customers or patients. So I will head now to Charles to give you some insight about the technology behind PERTIMM.
Hello, thanks. Actually, we are in a search engine solution, and we basically found that okay. So maybe we can switch to my presentation in order that I will give you a bit more. Can I present? It's a question.
We will.
Yeah, we are just giving you the yeah.
Okay.
It should take a few seconds. Yeah, we can see you now.
Okay,
Perfect.
so that's going to be even more efficient. So what we're basically talking about, we're talking about the fact that first I will have like a quick call about the search engine that probably many people knows. It's the fact that normally it needs to understand not keywords but natural language, and also the vocal search, as we know that now there's like so many players like Google or Amazon. So it's important to get this solution by yourself. The limitizer is the fact that you have a lot of synonymous, not only like the link between words or between context, but the real meaning of tones, like actually it's terabyte of data that make you able to understand few different concepts and few different type of information. The concept understanding is the fact that, for example, let's talk about terrorism attack. We know that in this thing, it's like it will be called as an attempt, like a terror attack, but you don't want that people will talk directly about it. You want that people will talk, for example, explosion, about people injured, about or like horror things. That will make you understand that there is a terror attack, but it will not be written exactly like that. As a search engine, you need to understand that. But the second thing that is also the most important is the fact that you need to understand further things. Because if you now could understand as a search or those kind of things, the context, like the city, where it is, what are we talking about? We're talking about Paris, London, New York. It's those kind of information that you need to understand. In the end, the agent will give you in a simple click the information you're looking for. So it will analyze not only the person that is actually interacting with the subject, but it's also interacting with the data itself. And that's the most important thing is when you will have an interaction with the data itself. That's why it's important, and it's always important to mix between the search engine that has been improved for many, many reasons because people are able to use this search. But now what they're really looking for is an interaction with few other things. For example, the CMS, other type of data. That's what basically people are looking for. Then you can do an easy and fast track data mining. That's why when you have the name entity, that is an important thing, but you can also understand text understanding. So mean a long text, short text, and identify what you're looking for. And then you can do automatic smart job. Then how we could basically use is a bot search engine. It means that a bot will interact with a search engine in order to identify all the information that the conversation is taking and what they really want to say. And then how they could identify what is going to be the best interpretation agent and index few labels in order to have a better understanding of what the people are looking for, where the information is, and how to refine the information in order to have the best customer experience. That's the keyword in the end. As long as you have a good understanding of the meaning, then you're gonna have a good interaction with the bot. So that's what we call 4.0 search, because 3.0 was what people are looking for in order, like Alexa will give you like not only the weather but connective activity. But now we'll also understand what your really data value are. Not only I will not interact only with the people and what people really want, but what your data really want to do and what they basically are doing. So I think that's as this information, I think that we can switch back to you to SYSTRAN maybe to understand what was the purpose of the languages.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. So, we would like to continue with the use case that we have prepared with PERTIMM, which was in the healthcare domain. So it's about the new generation of patient care. So today in France, there is a big movement of digitalization in different domains, and one of these domains is the healthcare. So that's why we decided to work together to provide a better understanding of the patients. So because today, um, with with the movement to telemedicine, which is patient care via some virtual agents, chatbots on the internet, without going to the medicine itself or herself, we have some challenge that we are facing, and one of the most important one is the language. So the patient care is depend on the language. If we are talking about the agent supporting a patient or trying to do a pre-diagnostic via the internet. So this is where we have the problem for the patients that don't speak the native language on clearly explaining themselves, their ills, or vice versa, the medicine that need to explain the treatment or the dosage of different um, I would say treatment. And this is where we have integrated a virtual agent, a multilingual virtual agent um, with PERTIMM to be able to resolve all of these problems by um, by using the smart data management of PERTIMM and adding on top of that the multilingual part of SYSTRAN. So this is an example that you can see when there is a patient typing headache to a chatbot or virtual agent. We have possibly 230 different results to do the pre-diagnostic of the agent. So the objective here is not really to give the final treatment to the agent, but it's more about giving a pre-diagnostic and redirecting this agent in an efficient way, in the fastest way, to the correct contact, to the correct medicine that will give him the final treatment. So as you can see here, it's just a matter to ask two questions to this patient. So we type headache. We follow up with the second question, which is, do you have a fever? So if the patient chooses yes, we have a possible of 95 results. If no, so you have the rest of the results. So this is how we can go in details with, as you can see, with the second question where we have, do you have another symptoms? And for example, if the patient selects muscle pain, which means that with two questions, we have reduced 90% of the possibilities to be able to redirect this patient to the correct medicine. So this is, it looks like a quite simple flow, but we have a lot of benefits behind this. So as you can see, the flow is that you have a patient which can speak any language, because all of these flows are connected to an automatic translation via the APIs. So your agent, that could be a virtual agent or a real agent, can communicate with this patient in all different language to be able to do the pre-diagnostic. So if we come back to the challenge that we presented at the beginning, so the idea here to preserve the data privacy, it's a secured solution that we offer, because both solutions can be installed on-premise and offline environment to guarantee the privacy of the data of the patient in this case, or it could be a different customer data. The multilingual part is to ease the access that we talked about. So you have the possibility to enable this in more than 140 language pairs to cover all the people or different language speakers. you will be able to, with the artificial intelligence behind this technology, you will be able to have a tolerance about like semantic or spelling errors that could be produced by the patient for many different reasons, and all of this will be provided in a real time in order to have an instant translation with high performance regarding reducing the time spent on this pre-diagnostic and the costs. So, Charles presented you the part which is more like smart data management, and I will present you as well the smart translation part that we are providing with SYSTRAN. So at SYSTRAN, we are a pure machine translation player since 50 years today. So we have followed up with different technologies, starting by the rule-based 50 years ago, where we were translating word-to-word translation during the Cold War or some space missions. Then we followed up like 20, 25 years ago with statistical machine translation. So with the augmented usage of the internet, there was a lot of data uploaded, and we were able to apply statistical algorithms to create some engines. But today, as I mentioned, and as we presented to you, the breaking change in like all areas is the artificial intelligence, and this is why we are working on the neural machine translation engines to develop more context adapted translation engines. As you can see in this healthcare use case that we showed you, worked on a medical engine, which is trained with some medical data to have the best accuracy in a specific domain. So besides this customer support, customer service use cases, we provide as well different use cases for the organization. So this one of them, to go further within your organization, is to use it for your internal communication to enhance the global collaboration within your organization. So to provide all of your employees a secure web translation portal that can be connected to different tools, as well as the virtual agent that you can deploy for your customers. So one of the most important enablers of this use case is the possibility to specialize an engine, which means that the engine will be speaking in the language of a profession. So which means that we are able today to retrain the translation engines with domain-specific data. So for this use case, it will be healthcare during few days, and at the end, you will get an engine which is specialized in this domain, which means when you are talking about any illness or any treatment, it won't be translating this in different domains, so the accuracy will be higher, and you will ensure the service that you are providing. It could be to your, as I said, your patient, your customer in banking, your customer which comes to visit your retail, your e-commerce site. So this is important this is an important enabler for this use case. And as you can see below, once we have specialized in a specific domain, we go, sometimes in some cases, we can go up to 2 times better blue score, which is the official scoring metric of the machine translation. So once you have this deployed, as we said, aside of this specific use cases, you will be able as well to translate all kinds of your documentation, to pre-translate them in order to provide them as a service to your clients or for your internal usage, including different types of files, PDFs, and OCR technology already integrated. You can automate your web-based content translation, email communication, and connect to different daily business applications. So if we go to a more high-level conclusion, so today with artificial intelligence, we know that there is some real use cases that you can use, and it's a good time to adopt an AI on your site, because these different applications are both concerned for B2C, as the use case I showed you, to provide a service to your customers. Internal usage, B2B usage are all included into this use cases. So as the data that you need to manage is today, we have a huge amount of data. So there's an essential role here regarding the smart data management and to know how to use this data. And here we need players like PERTIMM to construct the best workflows, and of course the complementary experts in different domains. And in this use case that we present to you is the SYSTRAN for machine translation. And we know that we are converging to different applications, as we showed you, the smart chatbots, the virtual agents, the live translation, speech-to-speech, face analysis. So these are the things that today are starting to be deployed. And at the end, we invite you to contact us, PERTIMM and SYSTRAN, to be able to test drive our solution, to show you what we are able to do, and to discuss about your pains, that we can provide some solutions. So, thank you.
Okay, so now it's time for questions. So we have already some questions in the chat panel. Don't hesitate if you have more. So maybe we can take the first one. So we have one asking, is discretion handled in the solution? And if yes, how is it handled? So maybe this question is more targeted to Charles. Maybe Charles, you can take this one.
Just say it again. Sorry. The questions.
Is discretion handled via your solution?
Yeah, of course. It's the key information is the fact that you need to understand what people are looking for when they're asking a question or to a bot or a virtual agent. Is the fact that as long as you have an information that is understood by the system, as better the response could be. But there is always a limit that could be the data itself. As long as you pre-treat the data, it means that you have an advanced information of what you're basically looking for. And then it gives you that fact of getting incomplete information structured by your data, but also by the question that has been asked by the person itself. Means that if you're looking for a formula in that you're working on a cosmetic way or something like that, let's say that we keep in a healthcare, then you have this formula that has been used by someone in German. It's the Formula 1. But the same one has been used in a different way in Italy for another thing. Never forget that people interact with their own languages. So we will know exactly what is the formula and everything, but we could translate it in German and through SYSTRAN services, but we're able to understand which exactly formula is and how it could interact in your system. So we pre-treat the demand and we pre-treat the data. Is it answer to your questions?
Yes, sure. Thanks a lot, Charles. We have another one here. What is the format we can use for smart search and also for the smart translation? So maybe both of you can give some insight.
Maybe I can start for the smart translation part. So for the smart translation part, you have different formats that you can handle in your flows. So it could be a pure text that you want to translate it. It could be a document like a Microsoft Office document, a Word file, a PowerPoint, a PDF that you want to translate. But also we are today handling as well with different integrated technologies, the audio files, for example, if you want to translate some audio files, image for the scanned documents, and this kind of data could be handled by the smart translation.
Charles, do you have something to add on Paul's?
It's also the dynamic induction. What is exactly dynamic induction? What we basically said is the fact that as long as we refine the question, we help people to focus on the right things. Everything is through algorithm, through use, through the type of data and numbers, because you see that it was based on how to reduce the number of response, but it also used on how you could basically have a great interaction with your system and guide people that are using your system. So this basically helps people to move on the right information. So SYSTRAN will translate automatically and PERTIMM will give the right information through complete and with like it's actually seamless and without any speech understanding. Means that as long as you have the understanding of what people are looking for, if you have a speech mistake, then we're able to know, okay, there is a speech mistake, but we know exactly in which way he basically want to use and want to go through their services.
Okay, I think we don't have more questions, so I suggest that we close today's session. You will get the recording, of course, and the slides presenting today. So thanks a lot for staying with us today, and have a nice day. Bye.